Continuing on in the series, what we're going to talk about now as we get into some more advanced lead play is we're going to incorporate a little bit of legato into some of the previous things that we've learned. We're going to incorporate this into various forms of our pentatonic. We're going to use it against some of the great tracks that we have to use for application. We are working on this in the 10th position of the guitar, so it'll go great with that jam track. But this is something that you can move through all the positions, and I want to encourage you to be able to do that, to not just get comfortable in the first place that we learn this, but move it all over the guitar. All of these techniques can be used in all scales, not just the minor pentatonics or the major pentatonics that I'm using in this particular example. They can be played throughout the guitar, throughout your harmonic minor scale shapes, throughout your natural minor scale shapes, throughout your major scale shapes. They are something that help give you that sense of tone and style rolling through the guitar, but can be played absolutely anywhere. So for this particular section of the series, we're going to be focusing mostly on minor pentatonic 1 and minor pentatonic 2. Let me identify these positions for you before we get started. And position number 2. And in addition to that, we will be hitting that blues note, so we want to make sure and show you where that is. I'm going to show you the first position of the blues scale, of course working off the 10th fret. So we are also going to be talking about the D natural minor scale, so we can't leave that one out. Let's go ahead and take a look at what that sounds like and how it is played in the 10th position. Talk about this nice rolling type legato technique that he has within his pentatonics, oftentimes using these fingers. So the way we're going to start getting comfortable with this is we're going to actually do a lick that leads off of the index finger. This is going to be my D note. I'm going to hammer on and pull off and ultimately go back to my C. It sounds like this. Now, runs like this are really crucial to make sure that we're muting here on our lower strings. I'm going to achieve this, of course, by most of the palm here of my right hand. And I'm going to block all the way pretty much from that 6 to the B. So when I hit this note, that's really going to be the one that stands out. And hopefully have as little string noise as possible. This is going to be a great run. Anything accelerated sounds awesome on the front pickup as well, especially when there's volume. And we're going to take this and initially just get comfortable in this position going like this. We're going to bring it up to the second string. And we're going to use a dark note in there. We're going to go to that flat 5. Now the way that we can pick this, we could do 2 down motions. Or we can go down and up. Notice they both sound a little bit different. There's a subtleness to the 2 down strokes. It's almost smoother at times. So again, between the G string and the B string, now again, I'm using this ugly note on purpose. And that's how we're going to resolve this bad boy. So we're starting out just like this. And that's going to be our first initial run. I'm going to kick in a little bit more drive here, and that's going to give me some more sustain. Now we're going to modify it into this sound. So now moving forward here, we're going to start with a slow version going off of our F note, incorporating that flat 5, and then we're going to roll into the second string. When we get into the second string, we're going to continue up to that D note. We're going to start just by practicing that only. Now, if I want to continue this, I can bend that. Now, variations that will happen within this pattern. Let's think of it like this. This is the easiest way to remember rolling forward and back. But what if we did something where maybe even though we were on our third string, now I'm going to add a little bit of a twist into that. I go, that adds a nice feel into that B string. And I'll play that slow for you. Did the same thing on the second string. So that gives me very nice and style of feel there. Slowly. Go into the next string. Now we're going to add to that by going with our first finger to our middle finger. Now anything that I do there, I'm going to get in the habit of going just like this. It's a little different. Typically we talk about, using this F note in this case and going, but we're going to combine a little bit of that major pentatonic with all the things that we just talked about. So if I go, that's going to be really cool, especially if I try that here on the B string. And I'm going to incorporate ultimately we can see how we resolve. I look at it as the components of this are basically this rolling forward and back. A little bit of variation that we could put where we go back to maybe the middle note. There. And we could carry that through the strings, as well as we have hammer-ons and pull-offs. And rolling licks that are going to give us variation. Now within that, now notice I did use a little bit of my middle finger over here, and we're going to talk about that in a moment, but I'm going to take that out of the equation and just use my pick. Really nice rolling bluesy lick. Notice that resolving note there, the way that I chose to resolve is different on that third and fourth string. Play that slow for you. Again. Now that combined a few of those elements. Let me play that slow for you. I like that. Let's take a look at that. That's going to be another nice little combo to add to this mix. And that's going to be our run. those rolling forward motions. That works really nice as we go into the scale. So we have some really good attack that happens behind this. It's very smooth. We can think of some of the blues playing, or the blues notes that we can use. We could take that same idea. I like to roll forward like this. Very much in the style there. Nice smooth forward motion. Really good rolling sound. And this incorporates a good combination of the major and minor pentatonic play right here within this 10th position. So what I'm going to do now with my legato, which is slightly different, and it's going to allow us to move into other places, is I'm going to bring in this note here, which is on the 11th fret 2nd string. And we're going to call this a nice little focused minor scale. And what I can start to do is maybe work on bringing in my pinky, because he does use his pinky as well. We don't want to neglect that. You get a really nice forward and back rolling motion. And we can actually use that, whereas before we were here, it's a great thing about his playing is nothing is left to chance. It just keeps evolving and evolving. We have our pinky there, but here's a very classic run that he'll repeat. Now this is a really good practice in legato, just all left hand. And the way that we could attack this is I'm going to strike the first note, I'm going to hammer up, I'm going to strike this note, hammer on and pull back. But you're going to notice I'm going to change to only picking this note, my C note, allowing me to pull off, hammer on, then I'm striking only the C note and the D note as I go through the lick. Great run. Goes right into your pentatonic play. It works fantastic with any of that stuff. You can really mix it all together. Bring your own thoughts into it. So what I would like to do now is put on the track and play along to it, and of course incorporate some of these examples, so right away you can see the application of these things. And we're going to pull in some of the licks from the previous section, and we're going to talk about how we can put them all together against that amazing track. Alrighty, so as I start to play along through this track, what I want you to notice is I'm going to take my time. I'm going to start slow with these licks, and I'm just going to show you what they sound like, and this is how I would practice it at home. That front pickup, start to speed it up. Incorporating each one in at a time. Again, slow. Working in some of the lower position here off the 5th string. The licks that you're comfortable with from a previous section, we can try to bring that in with the legato as well. Again, working in those